Welcome back to another pen tutorial with Holly Pickersgill Art. Today we're going to be doing a rabbit along the theme of Easter still. Sorry it's late, but this is the bunny we're doing. So before we get started, we will choose our pencil and our pens that we want. Always the white pen for the highlights at the end. And then we're going to pick some greens for the grass, some yellows, some browns, some oranges, this colour which I use on everything, and then our greys. So I go for a light grey and a dark grey, but if you've just got one colour grey in your Crayola pack, that's fine. And some bright colours, so I've got some bright different tones of greens and some pink. So here he is, the little rabbit that I'm using. So you can see he's got lots of fluffy fur. So today we're going to be creating this by layering the pens and creating texture. Once you're happy with your sketch of the rabbit, I then zoom in and see what undertones I can see. So I can see some bright oranges, some little flecks of colour. So I'm going to use my orange Crayola and go over the whole image. Again, not concentrating on one particular area. I'm just going to go across the whole image, marking out where I can see the orange. Once you're happy with your orange marks, I then use the pinky kind of skin coloured Crayola pen. This is quite good to kind of outline lighter areas of the image. So I'm going around the ear, the inside of the ear here, and around the eyes. Again, going over the whole image. This colour's great for adding highlights and for creating like a good light base colour. At this stage of the drawing, you can see it's quite patchy and quite hard to distinguish what the image is, but as we build up the layers and the colours, it will start to emerge. And at the minute, we're just adding all the nice lights and highlights, so like the yellows, the oranges. And then it's all about adding the darker colours and more definition around the colours that we've done. So now we've got that base layer, I'm now going to look at the image and see where the darker tones are. So I've chosen my brown Crayola and I'm just going to work around the proportions, so like the eye, the ears, the head, and go back around the highlights that I've already done and define the shapes. Once you've started adding the darker colours, don't be afraid to go back to colours that you've already used and kind of carry on building up the layers. So here I'm going back to my pinky kind of skin colour and just kind of modifying the chest area in the face again to make it bigger. So now you can pick some different types of pens. So I'm going to go for the Sharpie, which has got a completely different feel and a completely different tip to it. So you can create more defined lines. So they're thinner strokes, and you can add a bit of depth and texture to your rabbit hair. So another Sharpie I like to use is the brown one. So here I'm defining the rabbit hairs with the brown Sharpie. So as you can see, the tip is perfect for creating more detail. So I'm going round the ear here and drawing on top of the base layer that I've just done with the lighter Crayola. So as you build up this drawing, you'll notice that you'll leave a lot of white space. So now I'm going to get the light grey and basically fill in those white spaces to create more definition. But with the wider nib of the Pro Marker, which obviously the Crayola's got as well, we can slightly tilt it so we've got a wider spread of the pen. And here I'm going to create bigger patches of the colour. If you have a darker grey, you can then go back over the lighter grey that you've just done and create more definition on the light grey that you've done. So here I'm using my darker grey Pro Marker. So to create the whiskers, you can either use the very, very small, very end tip of the Crayola, or you can use the other end of the Pro Marker, because they've got two ends. They've got the thicker end and then the smaller end. So you can use either of those to create the whiskers. So now you grab your black pen, and this is kind of like the final details now. So we can use the black pen to define the black pupil of the rabbit and to create more detail in the hairs. Now this is the really exciting part. I love this part. This is the end finishing touches, and I always use my white acrylic paint marker. You can use any kind of white marker for this. And you go over the whole image, just creating these little lines of highlights. And you can also, with the white pen, you can make patches of bigger, wider patches of white. So these drawing tutorials will be very quick. Obviously, when I do my commissions for pet portraits and wildlife art, I take a lot longer drawing them because they're more detailed. But these tutorials are just kind of for your fun really, and just to kind of get a sense of how to use pens to create a cool artwork. If you liked this little bunny tutorial, then please follow my Instagram and Facebook, Holly Pickersgill Art, and subscribe to my YouTube channel where there'll be a lot more videos like this one. Thanks a lot guys, and I look forward to seeing you next time.